Shalom, Shalom, Israel. I'm coming back at y'all with another video and some precepts. And the topic of today, we're going to have two topics actually. One is about praying and how you should pray. And the next is men apparel and women apparel and how you're supposed to carry yourself, right? So the first precept we're going to go to is Matthew 6 and 5. Give me a moment. If I pause for a few, because I'm going to be looking for the precept, obviously, right? So Matthew 6 and 5, and it says, And when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corners of streets, that they may be seen of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. Right? So we all know about the fake Hasidic Jews, right? And a synagogue is a church. It's another word for church, right? And you know how they like to stand up. If you like watch videos on how they pray in the churches, right, or what they do in the church, they like to stand up and pray together and hold hands, whatever they be saying, right, in Hebrew, right? And then if you go to the churches that y'all go to now, right, they have a time called prayer, right, or a moment of prayer or whatever, right, and y'all all stand up and hold hands and pray together, right? But the Most High said not to be as the hypocrites are, and the hypocrites are the people that are praying, standing up in these synagogues, in these churches, and praying to the Most High, right? Because they're doing it to be seen of men, right? And then how you see pastors, you'll like walk around sometimes, and you'll see a pastor praying for a brother, and they'll be standing next to each other, holding hands. Oh, bless you, brother, da-da-da. Well, the Most High said not to do that, right? That's being as a hypocrite, right? He said not to pray in the synagogues and in the corners in the streets, right? That you could be seen by men, right? So to go more on that, we're going to go to Matthew 6 and 6. And he says, But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. Right? So when you're praying, you gotta go in a area where there's nobody that can see you. If you in your room and right, it's a little peak in your windows, like the blinds are a little peak, and somebody can come and see you through there, or people can see you. You gotta close that up, right? Because you don't want to be seen by men, because the Most High said not to pray to be seen by men, right? And he said in Matthew 6 and 6, But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret, right? So you got to pray in secret, right? So you got to go behind a closed door or shut yourself in your room, your bathroom, wherever, right? So that no one can see you, and you got to pray. That's how you pray to the Most High. Even if you're praying for your mom, your sister, your cousin, you got to do this. There's orders to things, and you got to pray in a closed area. So even if you want to pray for your brother, you don't go up to him and stand outside, or stand in the living room, or stand in a grocery aisle and say, brother, I bless you, da-da-da. That's not how you do that, right? Because that's being seen of men, and that's doing it to be, whether you think you're doing it to be seen by men, that's what you're doing, right? Because the Most High said that in Matthew 6 and 5. Right, so you got to close your door, like he said in Matthew 6 and 6, and you got to be behind closed doors, right? And slacking. Let me see what other precept I want to get. All right, I'm gonna go to Psalms 55 and 17. Give me a moment. 55, 17. Right? And he says, Evening and morning and at noon will I pray and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice. Right? So when you're praying, there's no I pray once a week. I pray once a day. I pray a minute per week, right? You got to pray. He says evening, morning, and noon, right? So that means you can literally pray evening, morning, and noon, or you can pray multiple times throughout the day, like continually praying, right? And the Most High says to stay in prayer continually, right? Slakia, right? So you gotta pray all throughout the day. There's not I'm gonna pray once or once a week or once a day, right? He said morning, evening, and noon, right? You gotta always give praises to the Most High, right? And he says when you pray, cry aloud, right? So earlier, like I read in Matthew 6:6, when you're praying, you gotta remember, you gotta go behind closed doors, right? And then when you're praying, you gotta cry out loud. You gotta say, "Oh, bless you, Father." Da da da. You gotta be loud with it, though, right? You can't be quiet. "Oh, Father," because if you being quiet while you're praying, you must feel ashamed of praying to the Most High, or you don't want to be heard, right? And he says Slakia, he says, and cry aloud. So you got to be loud, right? You got to rejoice in crying. I mean, Slakia, not rejoice, but you got to be loud when you're praying, right? You got to cry aloud. And then he says, and he shall hear my voice. He can hear your voice if you're whispering or if you're praying in your head, right? Because the Most High knows all things. But for him to take heed to your prayer, you got to do that, right? Unless you're in a predicament where you can't pray out loud and you're not behind closed doors or whatever, right? Most High willing, I'll make another video on that, but I'm just giving you the basics of what you got to do and how you got to pray and how you got to go about it, right? So I'm going to get another precept. I'm going to go to I'm going to go to Mark 11:24. I think that's back here. Right, so Mark 11:24. And he says, therefore, Slakia, therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. Right? So when you praying, you can't be in doubt. You can't be like, well, maybe the Most High is gonna give me what I want. Right? If it's righteousness, if it's a Slakia, if you're praying for something that's righteous, like more wisdom or this job that you really need, right? As long as it's not vanity, like, please, Lord, when I go to the barbershop, don't let the barber mess up my hair, right? Like that's vanity. That's not even, you shouldn't be praying about stuff like that, right? That's a no-brainer. Like you can't be thinking about vanity when you're praying. You can't pray for vain things, and you can't pray for your brother's downfall and stuff like that. So don't take this in the wrong way. You can't do that, right? The Most High said, love thy brethren and hate thine enemies. So you can't have an evil eye to your brother when you're praying, right? So, and like he said, if you pray and believe and actually have faith, like, all right, well, I prayed that I'm going to get this job, so my mom or my dad is pressuring me about getting a job, right? So I'm right, Slakia. So even if your parents are pressuring you about getting a job or wherever you at and you being pressured, right, or you feel pressured, you gotta, once you pray, you gotta let that pressure, let it like ease, Slakia, what I'm trying to say. You gotta let it go. You gotta let that pressure go, and you gotta try your best to just believe that it's gonna happen. Whatever you pray for is gonna happen, right? Because if you have any type of doubt, He's not gonna give it to you, right? Because then you doubt His power, right? You might not get the job the next day, tomorrow, next week, but you gotta have faith in your heart and know that whenever the time's right, you will get the job you need, and you will get the job when you are supposed to have it, right? Right, so I'm gonna go to another precept. I'm gonna go to Corinthians 11:4. And it's 1 Corinthians, not 2 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 11:4, right? Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head, right? So when, as a man, if you praying to the Most High, you can't have a stocking cap on, a wave cap on, your fitted hat, right? Your Yankees hat, your Patriots hat. You can't have nothing covering your head. Nothing. It don't matter what the case is, the scenario is. You can't have your head Slakia. You can't have your head covered, right? Because he said if you cover your head, every man that prays when he covers his head dishonoreth his head. So if you dishonoring your head, right, and he's telling you that's dishonorable, right, then your prayer is gonna be it's gonna be void. He's not gonna really like pay attention to it, right? He gonna turn his ear away from it and be like, well, this brother is over here. This brother over here is praying with his head covered, but this brother is praying without his head covered. So I'm gonna listen to this brother right now, and then him when he know and when he want to follow and listen to the commandments that I gave, then I'll go back and listen to what he's saying, right? So you got to pray with your head uncovered. Then I'm gonna go to Corinthians 11:5, the same Corinthians, right? The next chapter or the next precept. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth, and wait, let me go. Never mind. Right, 11:5. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head, for that is even all one as if she were shaven. Right? So women, when y'all praying, y'all gotta pray with your head covered. You gotta have a wrap on. You gotta put a hat on, a scully on, whatever. You have to have your head covered no matter what when you pray, right? Because that also dishonors your head. Slakia. And you praying without your head uncovered, he said it's as even as if your head was to be shaven, right? And in earlier precepts, the Most High said a woman is not supposed to shave her head because that's shameful to her, right? The head of the woman is supposed to have long hair or hair on it, right? You're not supposed to be bald, because having a bald head, you look manly. You don't look like a girl. You like a man, right? But I'm not getting into that. I'm just telling you what the precept says, and I'll read it again. 11:5, Corinthians 11:5. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head, for that is even all one as if she were shaven, right? So, woman, no shaving your head, and you got to pray with your head covered, right? What other precept I want to go to? Let me go to Ezekiel 8:16. Yeah, let me go to this. This is my last precept on praying, right? And if y'all got any more questions about it, about prayers or how you're supposed to pray, just comment, and I'll either comment back or I'll make a video on it. But most likely, I'll probably just comment back. So I'm gonna go to Ezekiel 8:16. So there's another way, right? And all these things I'm reading to you, these are ways and commandments on how you're supposed to pray. So if you're not doing all of these things, Slakia, if you're not doing all of these things, you're not praying right, and the Most High not hearing your prayer. You got to do all of this. Every precept I just read, you got to do it all in that manner, right? So Ezekiel 8:16. Give me a moment. All right, so Ezekiel 8:16, and it says, hold on, Sloggy. Hold on, bear with me. Bear with me. I think I messed up on one of my notes. Oh, alright, right? Slakia. Ezekiel 8:16. And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east. And they worship the sun towards the east, right? So they're not literally worshiping the sun. Slakia. They're not literally worshiping the sun, but they're praying towards the east. And right, and these men, they was praying, like I just said, they're praying towards the east. So when you're praying, Slakia, right? So when you're praying, you have to make sure that you're praying towards the east. Y'all got compasses on your phones. You could download a compass on your phone. And when you praying and doing every other thing I told you that the Most High said you got to do, right, in these precepts, you got to make sure also that you're praying towards the east, right? Because the east is towards the land of Jerusalem, right, the motherland, and right, so you gotta pray towards the east. And like I just read in Ezekiel 8:16, the men, when they prayed, they had their backs toward the temple and their faces toward the east, and they worshiped the sun toward the east, right? So you gotta pray to the east when you praying, right? So that's all on prayer. And like I said, if you got questions, any more questions on prayer, the Most High answers anything that you need to be answered is answered in here. So I'll either comment back or I'll make another video. So now I'm about to talk about how women and men are supposed to dress and like carry themselves, right? So the first one I'm gonna go to is Deuteronomy 22:12. All right, Deuteronomy 22:12. Thou shalt make the fringes upon the four quarters of thy vestures, wherewith thou coverest thyself, Sakia. Right, and I'm going to reread that again. Thou shalt make the fringes upon the four quarters of thy vesture, wherewith thou coverest thyself. Right? So men and women, right, y'all got to get fringes, right? And these are fringes, right? People might look at them, make jokes about them. Oh, you got noodles. You got ramen noodles on your shirt. Well, it's only funny now, right? Until when the world is ending and the world is at a desolate state, in a desolate state, right? And then these nuclear bombs is being dropped, right? And then the Most High is beaming up his elect, and they all got their fringes on. Y'all gonna look and marvel like, dang, I wish I had my fringes now, right? So brothers and sisters that's in the truth, and people making fun of these or laughing or looking at them weird, you gotta take pride in these, right? Because these show you and remind you to keep the law, statutes, and the commandments, right? This is a physical reminder to keep the law, statutes, and the commandments of the Most High. Slakia. And these show, if you see a man with these on, that shows that he has some type of real knowledge. Not the knowledge of the world. He got real knowledge because he fears the Most High, right? Because the Most High tells you as a man, you should wear this. And women, you can wear them too, right? It's a physical reminder not to sin, right? And then now I'm going to go to Timothy 2:9. Bear with me. Timothy 2:9. And it's First Timothy, not Second Timothy, First Timothy. So First Timothy 2:9, right? And it says, in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, right? And before I keep going, when you look up modest apparel is not a long shirt that's covering your stomach, or pants that cover your whole body, or sweatpants, right? Modest apparel is dresses. You look that up on your own right now, you'll see that modest apparel is wearing dresses. So women, to prove that you adorn yourself, right? And I'm gonna get more into that, but like the Most High said, woman, to show that you adorn yourself, you gotta wear dresses, modest apparel. You have to wear dresses all throughout the day, every day, no matter what time of the day, right? So I'm going to continue. I'm going to reread it again. 1 Timothy 2:9. In like manner also that women adorn themselves in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness and sovereignty, right? So you got to have a shame, not even like, not meaning literally shamefaced, but you got to be humble, right? You got to humble yourself down, right? And when I continue, I'm going to show you why you got to humble yourself, right? And have the shame face, like the Most High said. That shame face is not, oh, I'm sad, I don't know what to do, girl, can you help me out? Or feeling ashamed, or, right? That's not what it means. It means to be humble. You got to humble yourself as a woman, right? Because the Most High said, first came Adam, then came Eve, right? So the man is first, then the woman after. How can a woman be... I'm going to get into that, right? I'm going to continue that in a minute. So I'm going to reread it one more time. 1 Timothy 2:9. In like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness and sovereignty, with not, he says, not with broided hair or gold or pearls or costly array, right? So broided hair is braids, weave, extensions, whatever y'all get, bobs, whatever you want to call it, right? You cannot change the natural appearance of your hair. You can't put anything in it, not meaning like gel. I'm talking about hair, broided hair, right? Broided hair, you look that up on your own, right? Because a lot of y'all got stiff necks and y'all don't want to deal with it. Because a lot of y'all women are prideful. Y'all don't want to listen to the Most High, right? But look on Google, right? Broided hair is hair that is changing your natural hair's appearance or making it look different or whatever, and it's weave. It's weave and braids and etc., right? Not literally, oh, I have my real hair and I'm braiding my real hair. You can braid your real hair. It's your real hair. But you can't get braids put into your hair, right? That's what I'm saying. Well, that's what the Most High is saying, right? And he says, or gold or pearls or costly array. So all y'all women that, oh, boo, can you give me a Fendi bag, right? If it's not Fendi, if it's not Gucci, I really don't want it, right? I don't want a Walmart bag, right? The Most High said not to go for costly array, right? You can't do that. Anything that's costly, that costs a lot of money, expensive, right? High value, right? A lot of value, right? You put on the marketplace, you mess around and get, right? Say, I'm not even going to that, but y'all should get the point, right? No costly array. Nothing that costs a lot of money, right? Y'all got to be humble with shamefacedness, right? I mean, yeah, shamefacedness, being humble. You got to humble yourself. Because a woman can't walk around, oh, my earrings, they blinging. My hair is popping. My belly showing. I got pants on that's showing my body, my thickness, right? And then the husband walking next to you, right? And then you walking by, and then this mad men looking at you like, you're not walking around with shamefacedness, and you're not walking around being humble, right? You trying to be popping, Slakia. My voice cracked a little bit, right? But you trying to be popping. You trying to look like a star, or you just want to be seen, right? And the Most High says to walk around with shamefacedness. And again, I'm going to say, you got to be humble. As a woman, you got to humble yourself. You can't want to be seen, right? When y'all walking together, the first person that is seen, or the someone's eyes shouldn't jog fast to the woman, to the like, all right, say y'all walking next to each other, right, in a crowd, and then you know how females be wearing tights, they showing their belly, they boobs showing, right, they breasts, right, they got weave in their hair, earrings, Louis bag, right? When her man is walking next to her, right? People, the first thing they're gonna see is her, right? Cause she not walking around being shamefaced. She walking around with costly array, her broided hair, and and not wearing modest apparel, right? Your eyes are gonna draw to her. They're gonna fasten to her, right? But the Most High said first came Eve, then came Slakia. He said first came Adam, then came Eve. Right? So the man is first in everything. So when y'all walk in, the first person that seen the first person that is like, your eyes shouldn't be drawn to her, like, because of the things she wearing and how her appearance is looking, right? Right? So Slocky, give me a moment. Right? So I'm gonna read that again. Right? Not with bordered hair or gold or pearls or costly array. So again, I keep saying it, no costly array. Slocky, women, y'all females can't be wearing costly array, and y'all gotta walk around being humble. Right? And now I'm gonna go to Deuteronomy 22:5. And this gonna be my last precept. And I'm gonna end it there. Deuteronomy 22:5. Right, and it says, Slocky, give me a moment. Went to the wrong chapter. Alright, Deuteronomy 22:5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man. Right? So I'm going to break that down. So a lot of y'all might be like, well, I can't wear pants. That sounds crazy, right? But if you go back into ancient times, right, to furthermore prove that modest apparel means dresses, women, they only wore dresses, right? They did not wear pants. Pants was manly. And shorts, they didn't wear that. That was for men, right? That's the thing. Pants and shorts are for men. And women are supposed to wear dresses, modest apparel. That's what modest apparel is. In ancient times, if you was to wear pants as a woman, the men would look at you and be like, ew, and throw stones at you and stone you, right? Because that's a sin. And they took sin seriously back then. So don't think, like, y'all got to take advantage of what y'all got now, right? Because in the old times, any sin that you did and people like peeped it, they will call you out on it, bring you to the judges, and they will go to the word of the Most High and then see what the Most High says about that particular sin. And if it was worthy of death, you'd be stoned. The whole congregation gonna stone you, right? So you women, right, and females, y'all gotta be lucky and y'all gotta take heed of this grace period and y'all gotta stop wearing pants and shorts, right? That's for men, right? He says, I'm going to read it again, Deuteronomy 22:5. And he says, the woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man. So anything that pertains to a man, right, a woman should not be wearing it. And I'm going to continue the precept. Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, right? So y'all men can't be wearing dresses and skirts. Young Thug, he got dresses. He be wearing dresses and etc. You can't be doing that. Right? That's wicked and that's sin. Right? And I'm going to continue the precept. And he says in Deuteronomy 22:5, right? He says, for all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God. Right? So if you're a woman and you're wearing what pertains unto a man, which is pants and other things that y'all wear that men wear, you're an abomination to the Most High. Right? And a lot of y'all don't want to deal with that because y'all still want to wear your pants, right? It shows my thickness, right? Etc., etc. Like, y'all, that's vanity. You got to get rid of that. If you really want to live for the Most High, you got to get rid of pants and you got to wear modest apparel and walk around being shamefaced, right? And then men, you men that's wearing females' clothing, right? If you're doing that, you're an abomination also, right? So, y'all got to get rid of that. Y'all can't be doing that. That's a no-no, right? And a lot of y'all will be like, well, the Most High forgives all, or the Most High loves all, or da-da-da. But he's literally telling you what not to do and what to do, right? And how to live your life, right? This is the book of life, right? The wisdom of this world can't compare to this. Because you can go and learn, right? For example, because priests and pastors, They go to school to learn how to preach the word of the Most High, right? The word of the Most High and being able to preach the word comes from only the Most High, whether he chooses you or not to be able to preach the word how it's supposed to be preached, right? Because these pastors, they're going to school and learning how to preach the word, right? But yet they teaching y'all God loves all. You can wear pants as a female. Men can be gay. But in the Bible that they're reading from says otherwise. So they're not for you, right? Going to church is not the wave, right? Because church is just preaching wickedness. Y'all praying in front of each other. Y'all doing everything that the Most High says not to do in the church. The church is like, it's the house of wickedness, right? Because it's nothing but folly and madness going on in the churches nowadays, right? There's no church. Like, you can't bring me to a church, right? You cannot bring me to a church that preaches the word of the Most High correctly. I promise you that. There's none. There's none. Me, as I'm 18, right? I never went to school for preaching the word of the Most High, right? And if not to be boastful or whatever, but because the Most High bestowed this in me and Most High willing, I continue to do this, right? If a pastor or a priest was to come up to me and telling me this and that, I can confound him. Why? Because he don't know the truth of the Most High. He's preaching a lie, right? The Most High said in Romans, I'm paraphrasing, but it's in Romans, right? He says, who take the truth and turn it into the lie, right? Or who, right? I'm paraphrasing. So, who took the truth and made it into a lie, right? And that goes into a lot of people, right? And then the pastors, because that's what I'm talking about right now, they take the truth and turn it into a lie. They turn the truth upside down. Because a lot of y'all will hear this, and there's a lot of precepts that I be reading and stuff, and people are like, dang, I never heard of that precept. Why? Because the church is teaching you madness and folly, right? And wickedness. They're teaching you the same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 precepts. And y'all be going to church every Sunday throughout the whole year and learn about 7 precepts. And those precepts only talk about love, love, love. Like, some of y'all don't even know that it says in the precepts that the Most High is a man of war. Man of war, Slakia, right? Y'all was like, dang, I thought he was just loving. Da-da-da, right? But that's because the church ain't teaching you right. The church can't teach you right because they don't know themselves, right? The Most High said, the blind leadeth the blind into a ditch. And y'all going to church and following these priests and pastors, they leading y'all into the ditch because they're blind themselves and they're leading you into the ditch. And that ditch is the pits, right? The pits of Slakia. They leading y'all to fire and brimstone, right? Because that's the judgment of wicked people at the end of the day. And Israel, I'm not gonna go on too much, but I'm gonna end it there. And Shalom Israel, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. And hopefully y'all brothers and sisters turn away from the wickedness that y'all dealing with and follow this truth, right? Because this is the truth, and this is real so-called black and Native American and Slacky, I can't get it out right now, but this is real history, right? This is the history of the Israelites, the so-called Dominicans. I'm going to just say the so-called blacks and the so-called Hispanics, right? And Native Americans, right? This is y'all history, and this is the true history. Not what y'all learning in school, right? But this is it right here. And all praises to the Most High. Peace, shalom.